the guy who's following you, because you don't want to be the guy to get hit from behind. Getting hit from behind seems to bring out the worst injuries. You go backwards off the bike, you smack your head, and that does seem to be where people get quite ugly at this. So, weight goes forward and you jump on the brakes. The scariest thing you can do is locking the front wheel. All agreed? So the technique is to avoid locking the front brake. Doesn't matter if the back wheel is off the ground. No. The only way you'll actually know is that when you come to a final stop, you'll feel it drop down. You won't even know it's off the ground, in fact. So the only thing to worry about, without any doubt, is the front tyre. How do we prevent it locking? I suggest you adopt this two-stage braking technique that we teach. Has anybody got radial calipers?
Don't know.
The first process is to take the slack. The problem with radial calipers is you can't feel it. It goes straight into braking. There is no pause where you take weight. So
oh, I see.
Guys,
yeah.
Very gentle beginning and then add pressure. The rest of you especially, the process is take the slack. That's 1. 2, add pressure. Now we aren't letting the brake off and then putting it on again. We are adding pressure from the point where we took the slack. So you take the slack and then you gently and increasing pressure, starting soft. You do not ever want to go snap, because that's where your bike tyre has its smallest contact patch. If you ask it to do a big braking load, you're seriously risking locking it. So by starting slow, as you take the slack out, you get a bit of weight transfer. The tyre patch starts to grow, and then if you start easy on the bars, on the brake, the patch keeps growing as you're asking it to do more stopping. Your ultimate patch size, contact patch on the road, is much bigger than in a normal stopping situation. So your final stopping power is very high if you do it this way. Okay, it's much higher than normal, because you're giving the tyre the opportunity to grow to the load all the way through. And that's the secret of this. You start off slow, you end up stopping shorter because your final braking power. Do I expect you to do that? Some of you will, some of you won't. It doesn't matter. What matters is that you get used to starting slow and building pressure, because that's the habit you need when you go for your brake lever. That's the one that gets you out of trouble. So I've got 2 cones and they're reasonably well apart. There's a reason for that. Not going to be so useful for you guys, but try it. The first cone is take the slack, and then there's a significant pause before I want you to start feeding the pressure. Okay, why have I got the pause? Because you wouldn't normally have that on the road, because this is a practice teaching you a different technique. I want you to actually have time to think about, wait, and you add pressure. How much pressure you ultimately get to is up to you, but it's important that you start light. What we found is we'd tell people this, we'd put 1 cone out, they get to it and hit brakes. So we have 2 cones so that you have time to actually think about starting soft and then add the brake. When you're on the road, you're not going to do 2 pauses, you're going to feed straight in, but if you feed straight in starting slow, you're all good. Okay, everybody happy with that? You 2 guys, because you've got so little feel, it's just going to be start very slow, and when you feel like you're a little bit slow down, just wait for a second. Technique is really exactly the same. So what we're going to do is we're going to do 50k, seeing as the weather's been kind and we've got a dry road. 50k, we're going to do 2 runs with the front brake only as best we can. You've got a link there. You might have a link on yours. So 2 runs with the front brake only, 50k second gear. Give yourself plenty of room. Get yourself up to speed. Get yourself focused on somewhere on the hedge down the other end, straight ahead of yourself. When you get to the cones, stopping the motor. So So if you've got a big grunty V-twin and the motor's going to say piss off, it's going to laugh at your brake and you're just going to keep going. So on the back, clutch straight away. If you lock it, which is very likely,
So you're leaving the clutch on?
you're pulling it in. No, pull the clutch in.
Yeah.
As soon as you go for the back brake, you
And
need the
just
clutch.
leave it. You don't go down a gear or plug it down or anything?
No, there's no need.
Okay.
There's no need.
And leave it in. Doesn't that kill your sort of
Well, if
control?
you're in gear, let's say you're in second gear, and you don't pull the clutch in,
Yeah, it's gonna do it.
it's going to stop. So while you've got the clutch in, the motor is trying to keep that wheel turning, and the brakes are trying to stop it. So the brakes are actually stopping the motor. Normal braking, if you're on the front or on both, for normal braking, well, you get down to about 30k and that's when you pull your clutch in. But when you're doing just the back, you need it straight away. When would we ever use just the back? Any thoughts? Slow riding. Pretty much the only time. The only other time you use just the brake is when you've got a hydraulic prop or a brake cable that's broken and your front brake is not working.
What about on gravel?
No, on gravel it's exactly the same principle.
Yeah.
But the amount of weight you're using is much lighter. You know how if you're braking in the wet, you're going to be lighter on the pressure. In the gravel, you're going to be
Lighter.
5 times lighter again.
Yeah.
You know. Both is 1, take the slack, 2, add the pressure, 3, add the back brake. Why do we do the back brake last? Because it doesn't do piss all. And the faster you go, the less difference it makes. Because the faster you go, the more weight transfers. The more weight transfers, the more your back tyre's coming off the ground, and if it's off the ground, it ain't doing anything. And when it's only got a couple of pound of weight on it, it's doing bugger all. So your critical brake is always your front. Okay, so give yourself some room. 50k second gear. I will wave you through one at a time. If I do this, I'm reminding you it's the front brake. If I do this, what am I reminding you? Any guess? No, keep your head up. Head up, eyes straight ahead. Very good. Changed your mind back there. Realised you were a bit early, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
But you recovered it beautifully. Nice stop. That looked good.
Okay.
Another one of those to say.
Right. I can't not.
Back in there as well?
Yeah, I can't not do it.
Look, I don't beat people up about it because what's the right technique on the road? It is both.
Yeah.
So the only downside is you don't see as obviously the difference between the two, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I don't beat people up. It's the right technique, so you carry on.
I've been doing it that way for 35 years.
Very hard to change. Next one, just try just the back on its own.
Okay.
You will need the clutch straight away.
Yep.
Eyes up, straight ahead.
Yep.
If it locks, ease it off, put it on again.
Okay. You'll see some. I won't
That's
use.
all right. That's all right. I know you got length.
Yeah.
No worries.
Okay. Yeah?
That actually pulls up quite well, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It's got me out of a lot of trouble.
Yeah. Alright, so next process is both.
Yep.
So it's 1, take the slack, 2, add pressure, 3, add the back brake.
Okay. Gotcha. So even with just the back brake on, my front brake still works.
Oh,
So-
yeah,
Yeah, it's linked. But if
it's almost like ABS braking.
no, ABS braking, it does, it engages, releases real fast, and it stops it locking up. But what this does is it just balances the bike out. Who's next?
Another thing, the ST1300s.
Yep, like this.
One of the Superbike magazine in the UK, they did an article a few years ago. They said if you get a cop or somebody behind you who knows what he's doing on a bike, on an ST1300, doesn't matter what sport bike you're on, you're not going to outrun it. That was their opinion.
Yeah, all of the braking and engine and everything is out of the sport bike version.
Yeah. They're pretty awesome bikes. I mean, that's why the European cops love them.
Yeah.
What it is the heel of the lever where it pushes on the piston. As it comes in, there's a little bit of sliding action, and if you get a bit of CRC on the back of that piston, that will go away. It's just simple as that. It feels like pots are binding, but it's actually that. And if it breaks, if it feels crunchy, it'll feel like it's the bottom end. It's usually that little contact patch where the piston goes on there. Yeah, they've got to be pretty sad to get unhappy about it, don't they? These are one of the odd ones.